Okay, you call yourself a Republican. Are you okay with cutting Medicaid? Are you okay with cutting food programs that feed the needy? Are you okay with cutting energy programs that keep the heat on for seniors and kids? Are you for that? Because that's what the Trump bill does. It cuts 13.5 million people off of health care. 13.5 million people will have no coverage if this passes. Tens of thousands of kids will be kicked off of food programs. They won't be able to get food. And countless numbers of seniors will have their power shut off at important times like during the winter. This is the Republican bill. And my question to you is, do you call yourself a Republican? And if you do, why are you for something so terrible? I'm just asking.
Hey, MAGA. Republicans decided last night, early wee hours, to sneak in cuts to Medicare. Medicare. Not just Medicaid. Now it's Medicare. They just snuck it in. You know why? Because they need money for those tax cuts. That's all they care about.
So last night, while all the Americans were sleeping, the House was busy passing that big, beautiful bill cutting Medicaid and food stamps to the poorest people. That's right. It goes on to the next step after changes have been made that we have no idea what they are. Considering that Republicans that voted against it the other day said there wasn't enough cuts to Medicaid and food stamps, while these sit in the Congress and get free health care, while they say you to the rest of us. How in the world can you still support these
So in order to pay for Trump's tax cuts to the rich, the Republicans are cutting $1 trillion from Medicaid and food stamps. We're going to give more to the 1% by taking more away from those living below the poverty line.
Do you MAGA nurses, I can't believe that's a fucking demographic that exists, but do you MAGA nurses not realize that if these Medicaid cuts come through, you're going to lose your job? Like, nursing homes and rural hospitals and mental health facilities, those places are going to shut down. You're not going to have a job. Like, nursing, which has always been this safety net, like, oh, I can always find a job anywhere, it's going to completely ruin it. Like, I know you don't care about poor people or elderly or disabled, but have some fucking self-preservation. Your cult is so embarrassing.
And confirmed. Not only will the big beautiful bill be cutting Medicaid and SNAP, it'll also be cutting Medicare as well, in the amount of $1.2 trillion.
All right, you shady motherfucker, listen up and listen good. I voted for you because of your no tax on overtime bill, amongst other things. But here's the deal. I just read your great big beautiful bill, and it's bullshit. It doesn't even come close to addressing the people who put you in office, which are the blue-collar workers of America. So, Donnie, I'm going to fucking go the other way with this one. With this one, you dropped the ball. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed, DJT. This is some fucking bullshit. If you don't fix this, you're going to lose this, bro. And tell your cronies in Congress, if they don't fix this, I guarantee you, 4 years from now, the majority of those seats will not be red.
White people don't even like white people because the majority of people that are on Medicare are white. White, older people.
Of cuts to Medicare. It is shameful what is in this. It is the biggest actual taking of wealth from the bottom 10% in this country and transferring it to the top 10%.
Nurses, doctors, CNAs, what is it called, LPNs, all of them gonna lose their jobs too. How, you may say? Well, if they cut all those billions of dollars in Medicaid, most of the people in hospital depend on Medicaid. Most of the people in nursing homes depend on Medicaid, which where RNs and doctors and nurses work. So if all of them die, who's gonna fund the hospitals and the nursing homes?
Hello guys, I hope you are doing fine wherever you are watching us from. As always, is your presenter Kish from Africa, and today I've actually prepared you videos of MAGA supporters, complaining that the government that they had put in power is actually punishing them. And this time round, it's about Medicare. And we know that the Medicare was benefiting even the white community, especially the old fellows. But the problem is they voted for this government, and now the government is actually punishing them. And now I really wonder whether to feel pity or to tell the MAGA supporters to sit back and enjoy their tears. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and let's watch the videos.
On what the fuck is happening in Trump's America. They finally did it in the dead of the night. Trump's got passed a bill that cuts Medicaid, slashes food assistance, and hands billions to the ultra wealthy. This is not policy, it is cruelty, and it's happening right now in America. The House passed Trump's one big beautiful bill by a single vote, 215 to 214 after an all-night session. This includes nearly $800 billion in Medicaid cuts, $300 billion from food stamps, and imposes strict work requirements that could strip healthcare from millions of Americans. And do you want to know who will be getting hit the hardest with this? The low-income families, disabled people, and children. The Congressional Budget Office estimates 8.6 million people will lose health coverage, and 3 million will lose their SNAP benefits. Meanwhile, the richest Americans get massive tax breaks, including new deductions for tips, overtime, and car loan interest. This is Trump's legacy: cruelty as policy, suffering as strategy. He personally pressured Republicans to pass the bill, overriding internal dissent, and now millions of Americans are at risk, all to fund tax cuts for the fucking wealthy. If this is what pro-life looks like, I want absolutely no part of it. Like, comment, and share if you are tired of being treated as disposable collateral.
People who don't want to work have to work. No, I don't think you looking at the deeper picture. Nurses, doctors, CNAs, what is it called, LPNs, all of them gonna lose their jobs too. How, you may say? Well, if they cut all those billions of dollars in Medicaid, most of the people in hospital depend on Medicaid. Most of the people in nursing homes depend on Medicaid, which where RNs and doctors and nurses work. So if all of them die, who's gonna fund the hospitals and the nursing homes? So that means that everybody else lose their jobs too. So I don't think y'all really thinking this out clearly. So all them Senates who got RN doctors, RN daughters and all that, when they start losing their job, and then, oh my gosh, God forbid they lose their job and they can't take care of their kid, they can't pay their house mortgage, what will they ever do? What will they do? Oh no. When their grandma die. Oh no. When their third cousin die, and then they got to go to the funeral and they say, what did Mary Lou die from? And then they say, because Mary Lou was on Medicaid and you guys cut the Medicaid and Mary Lou died, and then what? Oh, my bad.
House Republicans just voted to pass the big beautiful bill onto the Senate, removing 13.7 million people from their health care. So does anyone know where I can go to get some non-stop footage about the previous president being too old? Thanks.
Another day, another disappointment. Today I'm coming to you with some breaking news about Trump's mega bill that just passed the US House by one vote. This so-called big beautiful bill is going to leave 14 million Americans without healthcare coverage. There's a lot to unpack in this bill, but for the sake of a quick video, I'm going to go over the top lines. The bill cuts over $800 billion to Medicaid, $500 billion to Medicare, and over $250 billion to food assistance programs like SNAP and food stamps. The bill also poses threats to organizations like Planned Parenthood and could result in over 200 of their healthcare centers being shut down. This legislation still has to go through the Senate, of course, so you do have time to call your senator and tell them to vote no. I will leave info about that in the caption and comments.
In case you forgot, we pay for Medicare. Yep. Go check your pay stub. We pay for it. So where are the cuts coming from? Where are they going?
And the crazy part of this story is that Trump is actually calling this bill a big beautiful bill. The title that sounds more like a marketing gimmick than a life-altering piece of legislation. But behind that glossy name lies a gut punch to millions of everyday Americans. Now, this bill doesn't just trim the fat, it hacks into the bone. We are talking about $500 billion slashed from Medicare, and nearly $800 billion cut from Medicaid, and over $250 billion ripped from food assistance program like SNAP. That's not reform, that's a financial assault on elderly, the poor, the sick, the disabled, and the children. Yeah, of course, the working class are understanding that, the white elites don't care about the race. They care about themselves. And we have witnessed this because of the bills that have been passed for the last 1 year or so, or since this government took power. Now, the Medicare is gone, $500 billion slashed. Who uses it? Primarily old white Americans. The very folks who thought they were voting for someone who had their backs now face rising costs and fewer benefits. Medicare, $800 billion cut. That's the funding for disabled people, children, low-income families. Hospital and nursing homes run on this funding. And when that dries up, guess what next? The nurses, the CNAs, the LPNs, the people who dedicate their lives to caring for others will be out of a job. SNAP and food assistance, shredded. $250 billion gone. That means 3 million people lose access to food. Children, single mothers, working class families, farm to school programs that taught kids healthy eating is gone. You would think that the government would invest more in the people who keep this country running, but instead it rewards the rich with a $3.8 trillion tax break. People are going to lose healthcare, jobs, meals, and heat in the winter. Also, billionaires can buy their fifth yacht. And get this, even Trump's own supporters are mad. Construction workers, truck drivers, oil field laborers, many of them make over $100K US dollars, which means they don't qualify for that new $10,000 tax deduction. So while their benefits are slashed, their taxes don't budge. You really can't make this up. Let's look even deeper. This bill paints a brutal picture, one where the poorest pay the price for the wealthiest to thrive. You've got people with disabilities who rely on Medicaid for treatment, children who depend on school lunches, and seniors who worked their whole lives now watching their healthcare erode. Imagine telling your grandmother that your prescriptions are no longer covered. Imagine a single mother working 2 jobs, now told she doesn't qualify for food stamps. Imagine a nurse laid off because her hospital lost its funding. And of course, people are now realizing that, being called white and, to suppose that you are getting some extra benefit, you are actually getting a psychological wage, which means that you're not getting the tangible benefits. The tangible benefits goes to the 10% of white elites. And that is what we have been saying, that there was no white race 400 years ago. And the white race was actually created to actually separate, or rather divide, or rather to be used as a divide and conquer method, so that to separate the working class white people and other races like black community and brown community. So I really don't know what to say, because you know, the MAGA supporters had the option of choosing in terms of merit, but they choose according to the how they look. And now all we can say is that we are sorry, we are not feeling pity, not because the Medicare is not affecting the black and brown communities, but because you made your own choice when you had a chance. So let me know what you think about the whole situation of MAGA supporters, you know, complaining of the very government they had put in place. Let me know what you think about in the comment section. Until we meet in my next video.